Hey, this is Mike Kent, Professor of Computer Information Technology, San Jacinto College Central Campus, doing a video here to demonstrate Bitlocker to Go. Bitlocker is Microsoft's encryption technology, very strong entire hard drive encryption. So it's very good if you have important stuff on a memory stick you don't want other people to see. So the way it works is it encrypts every file on that hard drive and our USB memory stick and any files you add to it. And there's several different ways you can set up to decrypt it to mount the drive when you put it in a computer. And we'll see that as we go through it. So what I'm going to do here is do a quick demonstration. I've got my own little memory stick here, uh, personal drive, and you can see I've got some old DOS games on it. I've got some of my wife's files, uh, some handover files from the Battleship of Texas when I took over a project, and I have another folder I deleted, which was actually some tax files. But I want to encrypt this drive. So the way you do that, BitLocker to Go, is you right-click on it. By the way, to do BitLocker to Go, you cannot use Windows Home. You need Windows Pro or Windows Enterprise to have this support. But if I right-click on this and say, turn on BitLocker, it's going to go through here and set it up, and it's going to ask me, how do you want to unlock the drive? I can say use a password, or I can use a smart card. Well, I don't have a smart card, so I'm just going to say use a password. I'm going to give it a really high-tech password like and type it in twice, of course. Now don't forget the password, because you ain't going to decrypt the hard drive if by brute force, or the USB memory stick. Now I'll hit next, and it's going to ask me to save my BitLocker recovery key. Now the BitLocker recovery key is going to be a 48-byte string of gibberish that can be used to unlock a BitLocker hard drive, either your main hard drive or a BitLocker to Go drive, and you need to store it in a safe place. So I'll just say save file, and just I'll save it to documents, and it says BitLocker recovery key .txt. So I'll save it. Now I can hit next. And by the way, let's go look at the file. I think I saved it to documents. And let me find that BitLocker recovery key. If I just double click on it, here's the identifier, here's the recovery key. I need this information if I need to manually unlock that drive, that memory stick, if I've lost the password. So let's go back here though and continue my BitLockering. So I've done that. I've saved my file. I'm going to hit next. And we have two options here. We can encrypt the drive using the used disk space only. And that's faster, because if I only have a few megabytes of data, it only has to BitLocker encrypt those files. And of course, any files I add to the drive in the future will get BitLockered automatically, or I can say encrypt the entire drive. You would say, well, why would I want to encrypt the blank parts of the drive? Well, when you delete a file, the sectors that that file used to exist on are just marked as free. They're not erased. They're not overwritten. So if I don't BitLocker the entire drive and I have a whole folder, like I had a folder of my brother's tax information I had deleted, it would still be out there and it could be undeleted with the proper program. So if I say encrypt the entire drive, it's going to take longer, but then everything on the drive, including the deleted sectors, are encrypted. So I'm going to hit next here. And it's asking me now, do I want to use the new encryption method? This will work with Windows 10 going forward. Or do I want compatibility mode for older operating systems? Well, I'm just going to say I want the new method because it's stronger encryption. Say next. I said, am I ready to encrypt the drive? And I'm going to say start encrypting. So now I've got a dialog running, and this dialog is going to tell me how far along it is, and you can see it's 0.3%. So it's going to take some time depending on the speed of the external hard drive or memory stick and the capacity of the external hard drive or memory stick. This is a 16 gigabyte memory stick, I believe. So it's going to take, yep, 16 gigs. It's going to take a while to encrypt, and we're coming up on 1%. And what I'm going to do right now is just actually pause the recording and come back when we get to about 99.5. So by the way, did a little bit of timing to see how long it took to encrypt 1% of this memory stick. And let's see how long it's going to take to finish this memory stick. So it was 51 seconds to encrypt 1% of the drive. So right now I have about 96% left. So times 96. So that's 4,896 seconds. Let's divide by 60 to get minutes. So we're talking 81 minutes to encrypt 16 gigabytes of this USB memory stick. So this is going to vary in speed a little bit depending on whether it's USB 2.0, USB 3.0, and the power of your CPU. But we got a ways to go. We're at 4.5%. I'm going to pause the video again and come back in when we're very near completion. So the encryption is complete. And if I click on the drive, everything looks the same. But let me try taking the memory stick out and putting it back in. The memory stick's out. Put it back in. Access is denied because it wants me to unlock the drive. So it won't let me move this window, but let me type in the password. See if I got that typed in correctly. I think I can. It's trying to mount the drive. As we wait. And there it is. Now it's mounted. So the other thing we can do with the drive is if I go down to the drive and right click on it and say Manage BitLocker. So now here, after I've done all that work, it tells me that BitLocker is turned on. I could back up my recovery key again. I could change the password. I can remove a password from it, or I can turn off BitLocker. So to unencrypt it, just to turn it back into a regular memory stick, I could say turn off BitLocker. It says, are you sure you want to do that? I'll say yes. And it unencrypts it a lot faster than it encrypts it, because it obviously doesn't have to unencrypt the unused sectors of the hard drive. So that should save us a lot of time. Let's see how long this is going to take here and see if I need to pause it again as it goes through it, because immediately it said I don't need to unencrypt 62% of the hard drive because it was not in use. This part right here, it looks like it's having to go through and unencrypt several gigabytes worth of data, which will take some time. So I'll pause this and come back when it's done. So there you have it. The memory stick is now decrypted. It's no longer BitLockered. If I right click on it, I could say turn on BitLocker. When it is BitLockered, you have the option Manage BitLocker. But that's it. This memory stick, I BitLockered it and I unBitLockered it. It's a great way to keep your files safe. Just make sure you keep that BitLocker recovery key in a safe place. Thanks a lot. Y'all take care.